Fine. Good. Okay, any other?
Two more.
Yep.
In going with your 2010 model community, I don't know if this is possible, but I got an idea of possibly going with the green community, and maybe we could offer some sort of tax incentives to merchants or people who sell green products or do something in that area.
That's a wonderful suggestion. Absolutely fantastic. And I think that's probably one thing we've been negligent on, and that's a wonderful suggestion. As I say, I'll take the first crack at drafting them up, but I think there's a lot of different ways we can go green and think green. I think there's some good consultants around that could help us think about it. It's a wonderful suggestion, and we should definitely encourage that as part of the Mall American community.
And my last suggestion is, I know that, Bishop, you said that next month you're going to possibly put together something in regards to Crawford. Since we're doing the whole nice painting and remodel, can we include something that says makes it known that there's no staples and paint tape allowed on the walls after we paint them?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Mendocino. Councilman Norris?
No comments.
The only thing I'd like to talk about, I guess, is Rye Town Park. Just so the board's aware, we received that there's a proposal. There's a lot of concern amongst the constituents in the city of Rye living near the park that we're bringing in too many cars. And the concern, I think, is threefold. One, it has negative environmental impact. Two, there's some traffic danger. And three, basically, it's just unsightly, and some of the local neighbors can't use the park. So just so everybody's aware, they're making a proposal to the Rye Town Park Board, which will hear tomorrow, and then act on in the March Rye Town Park meeting. But there's a conference call tomorrow at 5:30. It was originally going to be a meeting, but given the snow, so if anybody, I'll circulate it to the town board members in case you wanted to listen in. But the proposal, there's a tension between more cars and less revenue. And so, one of the things they're recommending is that we charge a higher tariff or rate to non-residents of Town of Rye, which I think there's some support on from the Rye Town Park Commission. Seems to me to make sense. I think there's a proposal to potentially start to charge seniors a nominal amount, which is obvious political suicide. So we'll see about that. Don't worry, Goldie. But even with the increased tariff for non-residents, there may be some potential financial impact to the town. So our goal has been to get to break even, so there'd be no cost to the town of running Rye Town Park. And depending how this proposal unfolds, it may end up that there may be a cost, so that there's a trade-off.
I have two thoughts with respect to that. The first is, how do you propose to determine whether a car is carrying occupants of Rye Town? I mean, are you going to sell stickers? I mean, are you going to ask for ID? It's kind of busy. I can't imagine you ask these young kids to show their driver's license.
That's to show an ID when they come in.
Well, that you're absolutely. Well, it's a very good question, and heretofore, we worked very well with former Mayor of Rye, Steve Otis, and he was the, if you will, the institutional memory, and he was always very concerned. So you'd have to do that exactly as you say. You'd have to check. You have to give the driver's license, and you look at where they live and make a determination. Now, Mayor Otis's concern was always just that you'd have a huge traffic jam on the streets leading up to the park if we did that. Now, there's been some proposals to try and there's a couple of different ideas. Again, we'll have to look into the cost. Maybe a charge on the way out the cars, the parking, because there's no other way to get out. And there's some other ideas, but it's a legitimate concern, and I think that's part of the thing we have to balance.
My other thought is, what about just hypothetically using the Rye Town train station on the weekends? No, really, and having some kind of a shuttle service.
No, actually, that's a good idea. But I was thinking that
Right, city train
the
station.
Playland Park has a lot of empty parking spaces, and we have a bus that we acquired from the county, didn't we? No?
Yes, but the
No,
bus
yeah.
only seats 7 passengers.
Run a bus every hour from the
They
Rye.
currently have a bus that comes from the Rye train station to Playland in the summer.
Yes, that's
Why not
exactly.
use it? So use
No,
it.
so I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but you're absolutely right. I've always, Mr. Noto, I'm always impressed by the intelligence of the sport, because you're absolutely anticipating a number of the solutions, both you guys, and the solutions have been proposed. So one is that if the park gets full, then they bus from Rye City train station. That is something they've considered and looked at, and I think we'll talk about. And then the other solution is exactly right. There's a parking lot adjacent to the park, and really talking to Playland, seeing if we might not even purchase. So the only point I make, the real reason I'm bringing it up to this board is there, potentially financial implications, of a program that goes forward. I think, I've seen the Excel spreadsheet. I mean, the people have been putting this together. One's a former equity analyst for Smith Barney, so it's pretty good analysis. And depending on what assumptions you make, and it's obviously a new program, you may be able to offset some of the potential revenue lost by the higher fees. I'm not sure where Mr. John Ambrose is yet. He's probably going to be on the conference call as well. But
Well, the higher fees would be on the vehicles or on
the higher fee would be parking.
or would be
A
for
non-resident would
be a parking fee.
Actually,
Not a
I don't
big
think they
mechanic.
discussed the beach entrance as well. They talking about her for the beach entrance as well? Oh, they are. Okay. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, I am sympathetic to the view that non-residents should pay more. The question is how much more.
They do now, don't they?
No,
No.
Yes.
no. They only pay more for the permits. So the annual permits, but on the day-to-day, there's no differentiation. Correct?
Yeah, there's,
No, you don't have to get up. Just
all right, what it is that we now differentiate permit holders versus non-permit holders.
right.
And non-permit holders pay more. Okay?
Right,
So
but
the
if you're a non-permit holder, whether you're Rye Town or non-Rye Town, you pay the same.
pay the same price, that's correct.
So that's a big change that's going to occur. I think the other thing is, I think there was concern evoked at the last town meeting about the legacy fields and to be keep properly informed. And so Mr. Nowotnik and myself met with County Legislator Rogowski, Board of Education members Jim Taylor and Jim Dreves, Mayor Feinstein, Mayor Pilla, and Village Manager Bradbury. And just so everybody knows where we are, I guess the real answer is we don't know exactly where we are with the legacy field. We're all very supportive. This town board to date has been supportive of moving forward and trying to secure a field in Portchester, a modern legacy field. I think ultimately where we got to is that in addition to the proposed flood mitigation, we're also going to need to provide affordable housing as well. Or when I say we, the Village of Rye Brook and the village, primarily the Village of Portchester, as a further incentive to get the field. So at this point, the ball is really in the Village of Rye Brook and Village of Portchester's court. And we'll find out. And then, of course, we don't know where new county executive Astorino stands on these kinds of projects.
Who's pushing that idea? Who is creating this proposed
Well,
linkage?
as part of the Westchester county settlement with the federal